Marama Fox.
Kia ora, Mr Speaker. You know, since last week we've been debating the budget. And as we did so, there was a very important gathering of people that were meeting in Rotorua at a hui entitled Tūra Marama Ki Te Ora. It is a most inspired name, not just because it has part of my name in it, but it is a most inspired name, a name meaning the spark of enlightenment, the lightning flash, epiphany, when one's purpose in life is realised. The agenda for that hui could be perceived as a heavy one, the National Suicide Prevention Conference. Insofar that as it relates to our budget discussion, I'm absolutely certain that they celebrated the 2.1 million of new operating funding for suicide prevention tagged for rangatahi Māori. And here I just want to make a point, Mr Speaker. Last night, as I listened to the member, Mr Peter Paraone, talk about, that's right, he gave a speech talking and blaming the Māori Party for youth suicide. Blaming the Māori Party for youth suicide. I just want you to know, Mr Speaker, that this is not a topic that should be treated lightly and treated with disdain in the way that I believe it was last evening. This is a very serious topic, a topic that brought a whole community of people together, and something that we have been delighted to support in the past years and continue to support. So though in all the big numbers that have been talked about recently, that number, 2.1 million in new spending for rangatahi to help halt the march of suicide, where our young people choose to end their life instead of live their reality, Mr Speaker, is not something to be dismissed and thrown about as some sort of political gamble, some sort of political leverage to try and get brownie points in the public. It must be addressed, and we are proud to be addressing it. And I want to tell you this. When they came and said, Marama, you have to choose. We can't get the 50 things that you want in a budget bid, because I did have about 50 different bids that I wanted to put in front of the government. Marama, you have to choose. In fact, we whittled it down and came down to our utmost 4 priorities and said, of these, Marama, which one do you want? And the question, surely, Mr Speaker, is simple. I choose to save the lives of our children through providing for suicide funding to help do that. Earlier this year, I spent some time with one such group, youth worker Zach Makaware, who with Te Taitimu Trust has developed a project which builds wairua, spirit and confidence of young people he works with. For these rangatahi, poverty is not so much about the material things as it is about the deficiency in opportunity, resources and the poverty of spirit. You know, Taitimu Trust works with these young people, bringing their families together, families from all warps of life, from gang families, who together with the police, with Water Safe New Zealand, with the fire service, learn how to save their lives, learn how to give comfort and learn how to be leaders based on the teachings of Mason Jury, building resilience, whakapapa, leadership and self-esteem. So I want to say again, this is not something to be used as political leverage. It is a real issue that needs to be addressed, and we are proud to be able to put some funding, though it is small, towards addressing it. Of course, we are delighted that we have been able to accelerate the momentum of whānau ora through the navigator approach, with whānau being enabled to help themselves through designing and developing the transformation that all of our families deserve. But what has been even more compelling for us as a party is the efforts we have gone into establishing $790 million in the Hardship Fund. We are proud of this government and our opportunity to work with them to put poverty on the lips of the people of this country. To be sure, in 2008, when Tariana Turia, when Hone Harawira, when Tudoro Flavel, when Rahui Katani and when Peter Sharples signed the relationship accord with this government, people people were not talking about it. And in fact, there is a paragraph in the very first relationship accord with this government that says eliminating poverty must be a priority. Then in 2011, when they signed the next relationship accord, putting a ministerial committee for poverty where all of those ministers, the relevant ministers, sat around the table and discussed how we can eliminate and put an end to poverty, was put into the relationship accord. It is part of the Māori Party's commitment to our whānau. And so we are proud to be able to put our hand on our heart and say, yes, that $790 million is as a result of influence from being at the table and not under the table, not eating the crumbs. Those are some fairly expensive crumbs, if that's what people believe. And in 43 years, you can look back over that time, and there is an equal amount of time, just about almost perfectly equal, between two sides of this House who did nothing to raise the benefit levels. And so, again, we are proud that there is an opportunity to do so through a relationship accord with this government. However, in the swings and roundabouts in the game that we call politics, we are only too familiar with the fact that despite the undeniable positive impact of that package, there is a quid pro quo in the National imposing stricter obligations on sole parents. We recognise that, who will now be required to return to work 2 years earlier and for longer hours. The rationale is that part-time work brings more income into the family, and we agree with that. It is a stepping stone to full-time work and to going off a benefit altogether. Maybe, but there is an equally valid argument to be made that a parent who wants to be at home is on economic, social and cultural grounds the best person to raise their child. A particularly interesting blog called Scrap Parental, The Sacred Practice of Parenting, outlines possible strategies that might prevent punitive consequences of this policy causing harm to families. These include the following. The test that work and income applies to all decisions was needs to be in the best interest of the child. All workplaces had modern, flexible attitudes to the needs of working parents, parents who are working at night. I have a sister-in-law who takes a job at 2 o'clock in the morning while her husband is home. They barely see each other because they take turns in providing the parental responsibility needed while they do that. People in this position would be much better off financially. I cannot emphasise how important it is that the investment approach is evenly applied to the effects of the budget changes. For a family with small children, relying on income support is stressful enough, without adding the compulsory work requirement to their obligations. It has also to be said that the financial benefit to a family in meeting these new obligations can be negligible, especially when you add in travel and childcare costs. For this purpose, the increase to childcare provision is absolutely on the button, and we applaud that step. So I want to return to one of the themes of the Suicide Prevention Conference occurring in Rotorua, that occurred in Rotorua. Ko te piko o te māhuri tērā te tipu o te rākau, a small sapling, being well nurtured, will grow into a strong tree. We know that we need to provide support for our most vulnerable families, as has been talked about at an early age, from the birth of the child, in fact, from before the birth of the child. If a mother of an unborn child is put under undue stress, we know through the Brainwave Trust that that brain development of that unborn child is stagnated. We know that when that child comes into the world and is put under stress through poverty and the stresses of hardship, that brain development is further stagnated. We need to alleviate poverty, we need to eliminate poverty, and it takes nothing more, Mr. Speaker, than a coalition of the willing. It is not just a whole of government approach, but it is a whole of population approach, and we need to take the steps, and I'm proud of this government for taking those steps. And they're not the first steps, and I know my time is just about up, but this is part of a suite of things. Kickstart, breakfast for children, under 13 free doctor's visits, computers in homes, attention to rheumatic fever, extension to the paid parental leave. All of these things come as a consequence of the Ministerial Committee on Poverty, and it is not the solution. It is just relief for our whānau who suffer hardship. And for those reasons, I'm proud to be part of this government in a relationship accord that can bring relief to our whānau.
The Honourable Maggie Barry.
Thank you, Mr.